Hello, everyone out there on internet land, in internet land, through the series of tubes. This is the Order of Tier podcast, the OoTPC number 005. I'm Jordan B. Sanders. I'm joined by that guy over there who's Michael the Hammer K. Klodzinski. How are you doing, Mr. Hammer K?
I am fantastic, Jabatuya. How are you doing this fine evening?
I'm most excellent. This is pretty much a different arrangement from what we've been doing the past couple months at this point, right? Something like that.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
We've been doing this for a while or something.
Yeah. So we're doing this one live right now, Hangout on air. Obviously, if you're seeing this after the fact, we're not live anymore, but right now we are, so woo! We're doing this, in fact, I'm just going to jump right into it. We're just going to blaze through this one. So we're doing this one as sort of on air live as a way to transition from video into an audio only podcast. So what the past couple months have told us is that it takes a lot longer to edit video than it takes to edit audio.
Who knew?
Who knew? I mean, it's not like we didn't already know that too. It's just one of those things where get a little ambitious, and then with work schedules, etc., and traveling, but I will say that dude over there is the real MVP. He's the one who's been taking care of things and making sure we're staying on schedule.
I mean, you did the first half, I did the second half, and
but yeah. So we're actually going to be changing this. This will be the last podcast that has our faces in video form on it. We'll still be on YouTube. We're going to release still on YouTube. We'll do a video, probably just with a slide at first. Maybe we'll do some sort of slideshow thing at first or eventually. But it will be audio only. Still be on YouTube. Still be on SoundCloud. You'll be able to get it through iTunes. And I guess another piece of news is that we're on Stitcher now. So if Stitcher happens to be your podcatching software of choice, you can search for the OoTPC on there and find us. So
yes.
Woo!
So yeah, this might be something we revisit in the future, but
yeah, we always reserve the right to change our minds frequently.
Yes, because we are Order of Tier. We are in the business of changing our minds and making things better and evolving and all of that stuff. So yeah,
that's what we try to do. So that's kind of the band news. It's kind of a big thing, but I think it's going to make things flow a lot better for us. So we'll take it from there. So into the rest of this podcast, and this one we promise we're going to try to keep short this time. We've always said that, and it's like every time a little bit longer.
Yes, actually, the last podcast was maybe like 7 minutes shorter than the one before that. So there's that.
It says. So, but for real this time, I'm for real. We're gonna keep this short.
We have a long list of topics, and we're chiseling them out. So we're only going to talk about a few of those topics this time. So
exactly. So we're going to get right into what we've been playing. This is actually a segment we used to do a while ago on the old podcast, right?
Yeah.
And so, figured we'd bring that back so that we can kind of give you guys an idea of what's going through our eyes and ear holes.
Yes. Eyes and ear holes. Eye holes and ear eyes.
So, Mr. Hammer K, you want to get started on
that? Sure. I've been sporadically playing a bunch of different things right now, actually. Mainly Chrono Trigger. I'm about to beat Chrono Trigger for the first time ever.
I thought you already beat it.
Nope. I'm at like the last hurrah before you get to the final boss. That's where I'm at. So yeah, I don't know what ending I'm going to get, but hopefully it's a good one. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat it again after that because I put like 30 hours into this game at the moment. And yes.
You can beat the game in like 7 hours though.
Yeah, that's true. But I got to get all the things and do all the things.
Oh yeah.
So I've been playing that. Been playing that on DS actually, which if you have not played Chrono Trigger, you should check out the DS version. Just the way that you can use the touchscreen to navigate through all the menus, and it has some of the cutscenes that were in the PlayStation version.
Oh yeah.
The anime cutscenes and stuff, which is actually kind of funny because it's kind of like an anime version of what you are about to see happen sprite wise.
Yeah.
So like you see the anime cutscene and then it cuts back to what it would have done on the Super Nintendo version. So it's kind of like spoilers. So yeah, about to beat that finally. And what else am I playing? I randomly got Grand Theft Auto 5 as a gift not too long ago.
Nice.
And it's Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Okay.
So I did so on our Vine account, which you should not subscribe to.
No, don't even look at it.
For reasons. But if you do happen to subscribe to it, you will see that I have started a Vine series called Hammer Quick Hit Reviews, where I just, how long is a Vine clip?
Like 6 seconds, I think.
Something like, yeah. So I review a game in 6 seconds. And I reviewed this game in 6 seconds.
I have to say, I think those reviews are pretty accurate.
Yes. Yeah. I turned the game on one day and then randomly 2 tables spawned inside of each other and they were just and making all these crazy sounds. Yeah.
So anyway, don't ever look at the Vine account. Vine.
Right. Don't ever look at it, but if you do, you'll never look away because things happen when things happen.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yes. Yeah. That's about all I got, Jables. What about you?
So, I've kind of been on a bit of a game acquisition tear lately.
That's the story of my life.
Yeah. So, again, this is something we need to talk about in a future podcast, but I have a habit of buying mostly used games. Although, when it comes to Steam, obviously, I buy a lot of new games. But so I have been trying to, for a long time, find Catherine. I know I could buy it online, but I didn't really want to, get it on eBay and then it'd be scratched and, messed up or whatever. So
also,
I wanted. Oh, good.
Sorry, tangent.
Yeah.
That just takes all the fun out of it. When,
yeah,
of course I could go buy this game on eBay, but
right,
it's much more rewarding when you find it in the wild and you're like, ah!
Exactly. And it's like, you can look at the box and you can look at the disc and be like, no, I'm not gonna buy that. That's all scratched up.
Yep.
It's there's so many good things. Of course, you pay a premium for doing that. Yeah, obviously could have gotten it a little bit cheaper. I think I got it for $20. But there's a story behind this. I went to 5 different game stores looking for this thing. The first 3 did not even have it. The 4th one had it, but they didn't have the original box with the cover art. And if you know anything about Catherine, I mean, that's half of the fun. There is the art. It just looks. Yeah. I mean, okay, yeah, it's all scriptural, whatever. But I mean, the art style is really good. I really like that about it, like the presentation of the game. And so I really wanted that. And so I found the 5th place had it, and it looked perfect. It looked like I had owned it, honestly. That's rare when you go to like a game store and you get a used game and it looks like it's just been sitting on your shelf. So I was super stoked about that. So I actually beat it again this weekend. So I played Catherine before. I borrowed it from Michael. You had it like right when it came out, right?
Shortly after, yeah.
Yeah. So about.
I had
on my time scale, you got it right when it came out.
This was back when all I did was read game reviews all the time and listen to people talk about the games that they were reviewing. And so I probably got it maybe a couple of months after it came out, something like that.
Oh man, okay. So so I borrowed it not long after that because I think you'd already beaten it, and then I played it. I thought I played it on normal, but when I went back and looked at my save files, I'd actually played it on easy. So I was like, wow, that's kind of messed up. I just wanted to get the story. So I was gonna play it. I was gonna play it on hard this time. The thing I forgot about hard is you can't undo. So Catherine's a puzzle game, right? So some of the puzzles can get pretty complicated too. And like I beat the first level on hard. It wasn't that bad. but the second level was like impossible, like without undo. And like, I mean, it's one of those games that you have to go really fast because like, you know, the floors, like you're climbing up this wall and like the floor is falling out below you. So you have to go fast. Well, you go fast and you hit a wrong button and you just fall off of this thing. And it's like Cubers in that way.
Yeah.
And so, but it's a great game. I had to actually dial the difficulty back to normal. Which is weird because like normal's actually not that hard. Of course, undo. If I didn't have undo, normal would be much harder. But I didn't have any problems except for one level, and I don't even remember which one it was. But I had to play it like I think 60 something times to beat it. But other than that, they were all like pretty straightforward, and especially like the levels at the end. The ones at the end mostly aren't really hard. They're just annoying. They're not really fun because it's not like a lot of a challenge. At the end, it becomes more about dodging things than it does about solving the puzzle of how to get the blocks in a certain position. But anyway, I highly recommend that game. That game is a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I would say a 10, but there's some... On my second playthrough, I realized there are some things that are really annoying about the game. Like, I mean, I know it's just on the first playthrough, but getting the camera in position to see yourself, especially times when you have to climb behind the wall, is really annoying. Also, the levels where you do have to dodge, where they're shooting things at you, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's from the side and you can't see. And sometimes it just does really annoying stuff. Like, I mean, the hardest thing in the game to me is whenever you're climbing behind something and the controls flip.
Oh yeah.
And so like for like 10 seconds you'll be like until you realize what the correct order of directions is to get you where you're trying to go.
Yeah. I haven't played the game in years, but I very vividly remember being insanely frustrated at that.
Yeah. So, but definitely, like I said, it was $20. I got it at GameStop. You know, what are you gonna do? But it's totally worth that. Definitely, even now, I'm glad I bought it because I could foresee, you know, in 10 years, 15 years, this game costing much more than that to acquire. And this is a game that I want to have in my collection because it's a game that you can go back and play again. It's the replay value is high. For many reasons. One, it's the story's like a movie, so sometimes you want to go watch a movie you really like again. And the gameplay is it's puzzle driven, so it's always interesting because you're going to forget how you solve those puzzles if you come back after a few years.
Oh yeah, if I played this game again, it would be just like something completely new. Like,
yeah.
I don't remember any of those puzzles or anything about them. So
right. So it's a great game. So I'm actually tempted to play through hard now that I beat it on normal, and you know, kind of have my wits about how to do it. But I don't know. I think not having undo is just really brutal in that game.
Yeah. I think I tried to play it on hard and then very quickly changed my mind.
Yeah. Because like the level that I did beat on hard, I know it took me like 20 tries. The first level.
Yeah.
So anyway, Catherine's a great game. If you have any, you know, desire to play it, please do. Other things that I'm playing right now, I'm kind of like you, Mike. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm kind of like, I don't know. I really have started playing games more recently, which is amazing to me. But it sucks because I'm not getting other stuff done. But what are you gonna do? I bought The Last of Us finally.
Okay.
So I've never played that game. Of course, I played, you know, other Naughty Dog games. Michael was very kind to let me borrow the entire, you know, Nathan Drake trilogy, the Uncharted stuff. So those are games I really liked. And so far, Last of Us is really cool. I mean, I cried before I even started playing the game. So, you know. I kind of already know where it's going, so you know. But I do have a prediction about where the plot is going. So you played the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you've beaten it.
Yeah.
Okay, so spoilers for Last of Us. So don't watch this part if you're wanting to not have it spoiled. I'm not wanting it spoiled, but I'm going to tell you what I think. I completely called that. You know, the girl is the cargo that you got to smuggle or whatever. That was too obvious. But I called the fact that she was it was something inside of her that was the supposed cure for all of this crap going on.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna call that at the end they're gonna be able to make the cure, but it's gonna kill her. And Joel's gonna live and she's gonna die, and it's just gonna be the same thing as at the beginning all over again. But that's just my that's my guess based on how the arc's gone so far. And of course, it's going to be tragic for him because he's going to have grown so close to her because of the whole journey of the game. But anyway, even if that is it, if it's not it, I mean, it's a fun game to play, so it's cool.
If you want a depressing ending, and I've told you this before, but that Walking Dead series, if you can get past the first half of it, like the ending of that is the most depressing thing in a video game that I have ever seen.
I think I only got to like the 3rd episode or something.
Yeah. I'd say probably like towards the end of the 3rd episode is where it starts to pick up. Up till there, it's just like a bunch of like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, there was some cool stuff. there was some cool stuff, but I just I didn't feel invested in it. If I do play it, though, I'm going to have to start it over because I remember almost nothing about it. Yeah,
but that's one of those games where like the last episode is worth the investment of the whole first part of it.
Yeah. That's kind of how like Silent Hill 2 is, although the investment up front is still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You get invested in it thinking you're just playing another, survival horror game that's well made, relatively speaking, especially for the time.
Yeah.
And then the payoff at the end is just like, it's pretty crazy. But anyway, I do need to play that game. But yeah, Last of Us, that's one. I also am playing Super Mario Galaxy. So
sweet.
Yeah, I had rented that from GameFly back when I was subscribed to GameFly, which I may need to do that again because that was pretty cool because I get to play a lot of games that way that I definitely would not have bought otherwise. But I think I only got like 61 stars when I rented it from GameFly, and I don't even think I beat the game, honestly. So I don't even know if 61 stars is enough to beat the game. But anyway, I've been playing that for a while. I've got about 30 stars now, so it's a good game, right?
That's a great game.
A lot of fun to play. The mechanics are cool. The only downside I could say about that Super Mario Galaxy is the disorientation that you get a lot of times when things turn upside down, and like it takes a second to realize which direction the controls are working. But
I really want to play the second one. I never played the second one.
Dude, it is still expensive to get.
Is it really?
I was gonna buy it and the second one, and the second one was like, well, this is a GameStop, but the second one was like $38. So
wow.
I mean, I know it's not an old game, but it's not a new game either. It's on a last generation console, so I don't know why that's so expensive. But
just usually the games that come out towards the end of a system's life, regardless of what they are, they're expensive. Like even if it's something stupid like I don't know, I'm just thinking like To Color a Dinosaur for NES. I don't remember if that was one of the later games or not, but that's a really expensive game. It's really stupid.
Yeah, no, I can understand that because fewer people are probably buying games and saving money for the next console, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, that love Super Mario Galaxy. It's a really cool game. And I've got some other games that are like, another game that I'm not gonna finish. Like, this was $5 at GameStop. Should tell you right away. But it's a game I had to buy because the soundtrack's so good. And I don't know how I know how the soundtrack's so good because it's Motoi Sakuraba. Same guy did like Star Ocean and did the arrangements and stuff for Eternal Sonata.
Yeah.
So I mean, really good music. But the game so far, like the gameplay is just so whoa, and the presentation's just as bad. It's Infinite Undiscovery on the 360.
Huh. I haven't heard of that.
And it's just a role-playing game, JRPG, and it's weird. Like I can't even get into the story because I can't get around the presentation and the mechanics at this point. So I've only played it for like an hour, I think. But I don't know. I'm not even sure if I want to invest it. It's a 2-disc game. I'm not sure that I want to invest that much on a game that I'm already just like kind of amped about. But I mean, like I said, $5, I was willing to take a chance.
Yeah.
And what other games don't I? Oh, Metal Gear Solid 4. I kind of got paused on that because like it's Metal Gear and like
Metal Gear.
I had to really get in the mood to play that kind of stuff because it's just really annoying to me to play through certain parts of those games. And then I've had this for like, oh man, this is terrible. I've had this for like 2 years now. Mass Effect trilogy.
I want to play that. I have not ever played any of those games. I want to play those, and I want to play the Dead Space games.
Oh, and I've got the first Dead Space. I downloaded that from PSN. I've played both Dead Space 1 and the first Mass Effect game. I played both of those for like 2-3 hours, and they were really fun. It was back in the time I didn't have a lot of time to play games, and I just kind of...
You and me both.
Yep.
Both of us missed out on a lot of really good games in that generation of games.
Oh yeah, I mean,
long games, unfortunately.
There's like kids who, Mass Effect is like what really got them into gaming. Yeah. I mean, you can say that about any game, but a game that huge, there are probably people who like didn't even game before that came out. They got their PS3, got Mass Effect, and they're like, holy crap. Genre defying or generation defying, I guess is what I mean.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's what I'm playing through. I got a couple others. Like I spoke of Eternal Sonata. That's another one that I've got and I've been meaning to play for years. It's just I actually physically made a stack now, and it's got all these games that I talked about plus I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, Silent Hill, Homecoming, and Downpour, which I never finished either of. So we'll see.
Which one is the PSP one?
Origins.
Yeah.
I've not played that one either. But anyway, that's what I'm playing. Sorry, that took forever.
Cool. Side note.
Oh, sorry. Let me interrupt. One other game that I'm playing, Goat Simulator, because it was on sale for $2 on Steam.
That is the best $2 that you could have ever spent.
Oh, I know, right?
I think I paid like $15 for that game when it like first came out, and did not disappoint. Would do again.
It's even Lindsay's like, man, I'd like to play that game.
That's definitely one of those games where you can just walk around and do a bunch of just nothing for hours.
Yeah. Oh man, segue. Oh dude, I didn't even mean to do that. But what were you going to say before we go to the next?
Oh yeah, I hate to ruin such a beautiful segue there.
Yeah.
So Color a Dinosaur for the Nintendo Entertainment System came out in July of 1993, which I would say that's pretty late in the NES's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. The composer of this game was Tommy Tallarico.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
You know who that is?
Yeah. I know the name. I mean, I know I've heard it like a million times.
Yeah, he did all the music for Earthworm Jim. And he's one of the co-founders of the video games Live.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah. What else did he do? The Terminator game. Terminator game.
Nice.
Look up the Terminator game for Sega CD, and this music is the most blissful 80s nostalgia-y stuff that you've ever heard ever.
Sweet.
So yeah. Anyway.
Awesome.
Moving forward.
All right, so into our final segment for the evening. We may not want to go too long on this one, but because, as you said, we could spend hours in these types of games. So we're moving to the top tier segment, and Mr. Hammer K, what is tonight's top tier topic?
Our topic is Sandbox games, which basically means anything that's open world. So that's like Grand Theft Auto, Skyrim, anything like that.
Sweet. So would you like to start, or would you want me to start?
I'm gonna let you start this time.
You know what we didn't do? We didn't talk about what our picks were, so we may overlap.
That's true.
So go ahead.
Just go, man. I just realized, by the way, that you're wearing the most epic shirt I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, man! I love this shirt, dude. I got this for Lindsay gave it to me for Christmas like a couple years ago. It's like an old wizard dude with a staff, and he's like talking to a dragon, and he's got like his books down there. He's like, I don't know, casting a spell or something, and there's like this huge keep in the background.
I support all of this. Everything that is entering my eye sockets at this very point in time, I enjoy.
It's like the cheesiest like 80s shirt ever made. Or something. But all right, so open world games. I don't want. I have a pick, and I don't want it to be my only pick, and I don't want to say it first. But I can't think of another game, so I may have to go ahead and say that the big one for me. Then I know that this isn't going to overlap with you. At least I'm fairly certain. I'm going to choose the original EverQuest, and some people will say, "Oh, that's an MMO. That's not an open world game. It's not a sandbox game." But two things that I would say to rebut that: when you play this game, when you played it back in the day when it came out, and you played it in like low-level zones, it really felt like a sandbox game. There weren't a whole lot of people around. There was kind of like this, small. And I'm only speaking from my experience, so it may have just been the server I was on, or who knows what. But I'm speaking purely from my point of view and experience. There were not very many people during the first couple expansions to the game, or until the first couple expansions in the game, or at least it seemed that way. That you would go into a zone, maybe one or two other, maybe at peak hours, 10 other people in a zone. Doing their own thing, and the zones were really big in the sense that the hubs were far away from each other. The things that you did in the zone, so you really had to run, and so you really felt like it was a huge world. One, and two, you felt like most of what you were doing was on your own. So then it made it actually very interesting when you came across other people and were able to group with other people and do things with other people inside of the game. Because it felt like this sort of sandbox open world thing where you're just you're killing skeletons and you're getting quests and you're getting experience and you're leveling up and you're learning new things and you're meditating and things like that. It was a really cool game, and I think that as well made as World of Warcraft is, and it is very well made, and definitely made to appeal to the widest base possible. And I don't mean that in a derogatory or derisive way, but it certainly is. But you compare the experience when you log into World of Warcraft, even 10 years ago or 5 years ago on World of Warcraft, you log into a server, there's people all around, and that's cool because that gives it this vibrant, huge city feeling. But it's kind of, you can't get away from it. Yeah, there are the zones like that you can get into that there aren't a lot of people there, but it's not like you really feel like you're living your story because you bump into people so much, you interact with people so much that it's like you guys are together as a family in the story, which is cool too, but it's a different experience. Yeah. It's very different than like the original EverQuest was, where to me it really felt like I was living my epic journey, so to speak, and then every once in a while I would come in contact with people that would help me along, or I would help them along. Yeah. Needless to say, I never was a high-end player in EverQuest. I never did any of the end-game content, but I logged many hours in the game, and I enjoyed those hours pretty thoroughly once I understood what to do, how to do it. That was another thing about EverQuest, is you really had to just bang on things and learn it. But anyway, EverQuest, I love that game. I still like playing EverQuest 2 every once in a while, especially because it's free to play. But when you go back and play the original EverQuest, the controls are so dated. The graphics are dated, but I don't mind that. But I just find that it's just so hard to control when you come at the game with the thought and paradigm of modern controls for a computer game. It just kind of doesn't align with that. You can remap them and stuff, but that's just anyway.
Yeah,
but I loved it in the day.
There's so many games that like I'd love to go back and play, and sometimes I do, and they're just almost unplayable just because especially that whole like tank kind of control that some games had, where like up was forward, and then you'd have to turn left to turn left, and then go forward, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Instead of the kind of like dual thumbstick control. So yeah, that.
Like dungeon crawlers.
Yeah. They actually remade the original Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah.
When they
I've got that actually on 360 because it was on sale for like $5 on Amazon one day. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. So they remade that and added in modern controls, and so that's cool.
Yeah.
But going back and playing the original Tomb Raider, it's like left, right, forward, and I just jumped in the water.
There's a lot of fast action in the game.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And platforming, man, holy crap!
Oh my goodness gracious, platforming in Tomb Raider.
Man. Yeah, it's definitely some things are better left in nostalgia.
Yeah. It's like I want to play this game so badly, exactly like I remember it, but have, good controls.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you remember it, right? Because you don't remember those being bad controls.
Right, exactly. Because we didn't know any better.
Exactly. That's all we had. We walked up. Let's go uphill in snow. Where's my Cranky Kong?
Yeah. Right.
So, how about you, sir? What about a Sandbox game that you like or hate? Right? Could be hate.
Yeah. There are actually a couple I wanted to talk about. So there are two that are kind of similar. Crackdown for the 360 and the fourth Saints Row.
Oh yeah.
So both of these are similar in that, they're kind of that Sandbox kind of like Grand Theft Auto deal where, you're a dude running around, you can get in cars, you do missions, or you can just kind of do whatever you want.
Right.
But in these games, they're kind of different because you level up certain things about your skills. And so the cool thing about Crackdown, and I mean, of course, Saints Row, the fourth Saints Row is kind of the same deal, but it's just completely blown out of proportion because this game, Saints Row the third and the fourth one, and all those DLCs, they know what they're trying to be, and they are that. And it's just like, you know what? We're just going to go completely over the top. Everything is ridiculous in these games because that's what everybody wants out of these kind of games to begin with. So
yeah, exactly.
But it's cool. Like, so in Crackdown, so you're a police officer, and you can level up certain things about your body. So you can jump higher, run faster, upgrade your cruiser, your police cruiser kind of deal. And so the more that you upgrade your skill set, the more crazy things you can do, such as, literally leap up buildings and stuff like that. So it's like, I love games like this because thinking about, like, the first game I played like this was Grand Theft Auto 3. So I had that for PC, and I played the poops out of that. Like, just doing nothing, just absolutely doing like everybody else out there, just absolutely doing nothing. Just sinking hours and hours and hours into this game, just walking around and blowing stuff up and driving around and stealing cars. The things you do in Grand Theft Auto. And games like Crackdown or Saints Row or whatever kind of take that formula and they take it to this next level where it's like, okay, we know that people want to be ridiculous in these games, so why not give them special superhero powers?
Right.
To do what they want to do. So yeah. Also, Retro City Rampage.
I still have not played that.
Oh man, it's so good. So for those of you who have not seen Retro City Rampage, it's like it's an indie title, and it has like an 8-bit feel to it. Everything is all 8-biterized, and it's all like 80s, 90s nostalgia stuff. Like this guy just took every single thing he could think of about the 80s and 90s and threw it into this game. So like in the first 15 minutes of playing this thing, you see stuff from like Back to the Future and Bill and Ted and Doctor Who and Metal Gear and I mean there are people from like video game websites and stuff in this game and you know like from Sonic, like Dr. Robotnik's in it, except his name is like Dr. Von Buttlick or something like that. I don't remember what it is. But yeah, this game, as of now, it has come out on freaking like every console imaginable. So originally it came out on PC, you know. So you can get it on Steam, you can get it on PSN, you can get it on Xbox Live Arcade. Is that what they still call that?
I have no idea. That's what I was like. I almost stopped myself when I was talking about the Impossible Game last time. I was like, Xbox Live Arcade. I've never heard that. Haven't heard that in a while. So
I don't think they call it that anymore. I think we just aged ourselves. Anyway.
Oh, dude. There's like some 12-year-old dude out there. He's like, boy, that ain't what it is anymore.
Yeah, right. 3DS, Vita. So recently, it just came out on PS4. I acquired a copy of this, a physical copy. Yeah, let me rephrase that. It came out. They released a physical copy for PS4.
Oh, nice.
And so I acquired this recently. And also recently, apparently a bunch of scalpers picked this thing up. And if you try to pick this game up on eBay, it's going for like $130.
Oh, what?
It's just, this is another topic completely about scalpers and all that junk.
Dude, I was looking at a Wii U because, you know, I want to get a Wii U eventually.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Bayonetta, and like the cheapest, like Bayonetta 2, the cheapest Bayonetta 2 on Amazon is like $65.
What?
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing crazy like what you're talking about, but like this is a game that's just like, it's not that old.
Wow.
I don't get it. Anyway, sorry.
So yeah, anyway. So that. Also, he just released a 486 version of this game. Is that what it is?
Really? Like for real? For
real. It comes on a floppy disk.
Like, for those of you who don't know what a 486 was, okay, I don't even know how to even explain this. It's a different kind of instruction set than the computers you use right now use. How do you explain an instruction set? Okay, let's not even go into it. Old.
It's old. So you buy this thing and it comes on a floppy disk. He also in there, I don't know if it was like a download code or on the flop. It probably is not on the same floppy. But for those of you who don't know what a floppy disk is,
right.
Sorry. A Windows 3.1 version of this game. And I think like he started making an NES version of this game. I mean, it's just.
Oh man.
He's one of those people that just does this stuff because it's like a challenge to him, and he just wants to do it. So that's really cool.
So when's the Apple II version coming out?
That's a good question. I don't know. It would not shock me in the slightest if I just saw Twitter, we're making an Apple II version of this game now.
Man, that's
yeah. Play Retro City Rampage. Support indie developers because of reasons. This game is awesome.
Sweet.
Especially if you like Sandbox games and 80s and 90s nostalgia and Back to the Future because you can drive the DeLorean. So.
Oh, what?
And you can drive the Turtles, whatever the thing's called.
Oh, their van. Yeah,
their van.
Nice. Oh my goodness. You just reminded me, dude. This is a topic for another podcast, but I watched the new Ninja Turtles movie.
Yep.
Have you
we can
you've
say
seen it,
that
right?
next week. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that. We also and I want to make an apology. I don't have anything else to say. There are other Sandbox games I could say, the ones that I play, ones that I like, but you've covered kind of the basis. Like I played Saints Row, love that. Grand Theft Auto 3 and 4, love both those games. Haven't played 5 yet, but yeah,
it's just everything that Grand Theft Auto 4 was, but just like add another layer of depth to it, and better
it's like
graphics.
multiple characters you could play as, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty sweet. I think
Which is cool. The story is a little more engaging than it has been previously.
Oh yeah, I hate the stories in Grand Theft Auto games. They're boring.
Still,
it's like, I mean,
but still,
it's totally not my kind of thing. But
if that's what you want to be, you can just run around and
sweet.
You can run around and do a Grand Theft Autoing.
Nice. So yeah, but I know we said, and I want to apologize for this, that we were going to do Shovel Knight on this podcast, but I feel like we need to give Shovel Knight its due and not treat it so quickly.
Agreed.
So we will do that soon. But go ahead.
Side note: a new DLC just came out for Shovel Knight, and I have not played it yet, but everyone has been raving about this.
Oh yeah.
Like it's been getting like 9.5s and 9s and stuff like that.
Oh wow, man, that's awesome.
So yeah.
Maybe I'll try to beat Shovel Knight before we talk about it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, before we wrap this up, Michael, is there anything you want to add to this podcast episode?
Just to subscribe to us and follow us and like us and all the things and all the internets, and don't go to our Vine account, but you probably should.
Videogamemetal.com. You can get our music there. You can also get it at soundcloud.com/videogamemetal. And then everything else on the internet, we're at /order of tier, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. But don't ever go to vine.co/order of tier. You shouldn't do that.
Yep.
But that's it. I mean, they're Instagram. We're on Instagram. I don't ever think about Instagram. So yeah, check us out. And we will be back in a couple of weeks with another podcast. It will be audio only, but like I said, don't fear. It will be on YouTube. It will be on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher now. So check that out. And thank you once again for joining us. If you're joining us on this Hangout on air, thank you very much. And for those of you watching after the fact, thank you just as much. It's awesome. And we appreciate you guys checking us out. So until next time, that guy over there is Michael the Hammer K. Klodzinski, and I am Jordan B. Sanders. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, Internet.